Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with California Ag Network, reporting to you from Sacramento, headquarters of the California Association of Pest Control Advisors. I'm here with the president and CEO of the organization, Ruth Ann Anderson. I know we hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we've had some changes that are impacting our pest control advisors. Just occurred, and over the last couple of years as well, impacting the prices, for example, that our advisors are paying in order to renew their licensing, as well as some other things. Can you give us an update on that?
Of course. Well, thank you again for stopping by the office. There's so much change in the air this year. So DPR today announced and finalized through emergency regulations increased fees to renewing the license for the PCA, QAL, QAC, and aerial applicators. So if you haven't renewed yet, you'll want to make sure you check the new forms either through the DPR website or CAPCA. In order to serve our industry, has created a renewal hub at CAPCA.com, and you can click on that link and see all the latest and greatest news there. You're right, the fees are increasing, just over doubling. And the state, when they announced this back in May, really focused on not only the spending gap, because licensing is something that does have to be covered within its own regulatory fees, but also just some increased new programs. So language access is a key component of it, making not only study guides, but exams available in alternate languages once the federal government allows for that in the future. And then also making incremental changes to its own program. So the last time we saw a fee increase was about 20 years ago, so I know it's a big sticker shock, but I also know that it's been 20 years, and we hope that not only can there be some transparency moving forward with how that money is spent, but really some accountability so that we don't see these huge fee jumps in the future, but we're really thoughtful and consistent with how we are managing the cost of licensing. It is a lot of times a personal cost for most people. It's not necessarily a company cost, and so we understand that this is going to impact not only our members, but a lot of people that are out there.
Yeah, I mean, you said 20 years and coming. I know it had to happen at some point, but in a time like this, or where we've got a lot of inflation, the costs of our crop protection materials, and just as individuals, it's pretty rough. But yeah, you mentioned making sure that there's some transparency and some accountability for how they're using this money.
From our perspective, what we really want is we want to make sure that the funds that are being collected are being spent on the license and on behalf of the license holders. We really want to make sure that they're not only getting renewed in a timely manner, but it's being done professionally. I think, we at CAPCA have long understood that a professional license allows us to uphold professional standards. And so the manner in which the department renews that license is critical to our professionalism. And so,
the
turnaround time, the consistency, the communication about changes, all of those are really important. And, for us, we really have to stand on our license. I think as an industry, we are under a microscope, and it's important that our licenses are not only maintained well, but that we can stand on the integrity of a well-managed license. So while we don't love new fees, we also understand the need to have a quality license that continues to support our industry.
Now, you didn't mention private applicator. Those that are renewing those licenses, how does that impact it?
So the private applicator card, or the PAC, a lot of you have them in your wallet as a brown card. The new ones are white now under the new certification and training changes that happened back in January. But those are renewed still through the county, so those fees, that process is not impacted. That's still kind of managed at the county ag commissioner level.
Any other changes that our growers and advisors should know about with all the stuff that's been coming out?
I think the one that is maybe most shocking for people is that there is a new form, and the form does have to be completed with your renewal, whether you're a PCA, QAL, or QAC, or aerial applicator. It's the licensing 141 form. You'll see it in your packet when you receive your renewal packet, or you can download it online. That form does, from our understanding, need to be completed. And this is really a major shift. So for the last almost 30 years, CAPCA has tracked hours and provided through CECPM a total hours summary. Because of the changes in regulation, the form has to be completed. We use some of our technology spend this year to help make sure that that form is completed as best as we can for our PCA members. But there are some gaps in information, and we want to make sure our members are not only ensuring that everything's completed and up to date, but that that this form is now required and things are changing. So we anticipated some of these changes, and we really hope that we've served our members well by getting ahead of some things. Now, we don't have a crystal ball and we can't see everything, but we hope that this helps everyone in renewing this year.
Great. Well, thank you, Ruth Ann. Now on to some better news here. We've got CAPCA celebrating your 50-year anniversary of your conference that's coming up this October at Disneyland.
Yes.
And so I hear that's going to be a lot of fun. Can you tell us a little about that? And as you know, our PCAs and need to renew their hours, for their licenses. There's always a great opportunity for credits there too.
Yeah, so CAPCA is celebrating our 50th anniversary down in Disneyland, October 13th through the 15th. We're excited about some big changes this year. The first one being we actually have a day pass for Sunday, October 13th. We want to welcome not only our PCAs, but bring your grower, bring some of the applicators you work with. We think the more we get educated together, the more collaborative we can be in the field, and so we're excited about that. We have a number of breakouts on Sunday, including some professional development that we're really looking forward to showcasing, and then always, time in the exhibit hall for everyone to be able to network and interact. So 3 really full days of continuing education, lots of exciting updates. I think just an opportunity for everybody to get together, right? It's been a hard year. There's been a lot of changes, but I think when we get together and we're able to celebrate what we can, people kind of come around.
As far as the amount of hours that pest control advisors and even private applicators can get from this event, it's considerable, right? It's all in person, or there's some online opportunities as well?
Yeah, so it's all in person, which means you don't have to take an extra test, but you do have to be in the room for your continuing education. This year, conference has over 14 and a half DPR CE hours, and we're also applying for CCA and kind of our normal smorgasbord of continuing education. So check out CAPCA.com to see all of the CE hours as well as the overall program. We've got some great speakers to highlight.
Well, we're excited to be joining you guys there and to partner on that too. So thank you so much for all that you do for the industry. Read more about these things in our publications. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.